So y'all remember Draymond Green said that 60% of the NBA has a low IQ. Gilbert Arenas disagrees. He thinks it's more.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Okay, Ring Culture, welcome back to Ring Culture, where we play no games, we just spit game about the game we love. Before we get into this video, go over to my reaction page, The Nuclear Reactor. Check out my sports reactions, y'all will love it over there. But back over here, Ring Culture, make sure y'all like and comment down below. That's how y'all get me in the algorithm, and then I'll go get them with my content, hit them and fit them and sit with them. Subscribe and hit the bell notification so y'all can be notified for every time I upload. And make sure y'all share my videos and hype my page. So y'all remember when Draymond Green said 60% of NBA players have a low IQ? Gilbert Arenas disagrees with the percentage. He thinks it's more. If y'all been watching my page for a minute, y'all know I am not a fan of today's NBA. And me being I love basketball. So I used to be the day one opening day, watch all the games. I knew exactly what's going on through the whole NBA because I just loved the brand of basketball that was being played. Now it's a diehard like me. I barely watch games. And 76ers is my squad. I'm happy with watching them. You know, I like the young boy VJ Edgecombe that they got on the team. He's refreshing. But Gilbert Arenas thinks that, and everybody in Gil's arena think that because the league is younger now, that the IQ isn't there. And I think it's a little more than that. But let y'all listen to what Gil and crew said about this percentage of the way the league is now, and I'm gonna come back and give y'all my thoughts. Check this out.
Do you agree with Draymond saying 60% of players in the NBA have a low basketball IQ?
Only 60%?
They said that was being nice.
Only 60%? I mean, when it comes... The team, you know, the league is younger, right? They're coming straight from AAU, spending 1 year in college. Like, it's not gonna have the IQ of, you know, the 80s and the 90s, you know, players that really understand the game.
Yeah.
60% don't have, I'm thinking 80, 85.
Yeah.
I mean, half these players, you can see when they get out of timeout, coach drew the play up, they sitting there like, where'd I go? Like, right?
Well, that's why the game has been simplified the way that it has. You look at how, when we was playing, it was complex. There were plays, there were sets, there was counters, there were strategies defensively. There was, you know, you had to know the terminology of every pick and roll coverage. You had to know, you know, how to follow the teams underneath where you're guarding a Utah Jazz, you're guarding a Spurs team. Everybody played differently. You had to be on your shit. You actually got the playbook. You had to have the playbook. If you wasn't a star player that didn't really necessarily need that, to be in the game, you had to know strategy. You had to know all of this. Now they've just simplified it for where now players are just like, all right, this nigga's gonna go one-on-one. We're gonna load up. When he swing, we close out. And then offensively, sit in the corner, nigga, and wait for the ball, shoot it.
5 out.
Ain't no plays.
I mean, it's just a lot, like, in life now. Social media, like, kids are just into everything else besides basketball. It's a lot. Like, guys are making a lot of money. Like, the history of it, like, the history of the game is not really, people don't really appreciate it as much anymore because, you know, everybody's doing so much different things now. So that's probably why the IQ is so low, too, because we're not respecting the history of the game.
Yeah.
And is there a difference between having a low IQ versus no feel for the game? Or is that one and the same?
That's a good-ass question.
Yeah.
I think it's two different things.
Having a feel for the
Playing enough. Like, having a feel is like playing enough to know how the game
like, having a feel is just, we can go out right now and just have a feel. We know.
Play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah, having a feel, I mean, having a feel is, I guess it's it's pretty much the same in a sense, right? A guy who's been playing basketball a long time, just go out there and can play backdoor, read, he can do all that, which can be considered a high IQ player.
So, I mean, I just come from reps, right? Like, actually, I think the emphasis nowadays, a lot of guys do individual training, skill work. But, like, when we were younger, it was like, go to the park, we playing for 5, 6 hours, whatever it may be. And like y'all are saying, just actually learning the game of basketball from a team standpoint.
It's experience.
It's
IQ gives you experience.
and also the movement of the game is completely different now. Like the way the ball moves now versus then. So but like credit to what you said, if you don't watch, a lot of these kids don't even know who some of these old players are, you know? So if you didn't watch, your only idea of what the game's like is what you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people aren't keeping the good, meaty parts of the old school game and bringing it. It was left behind.
I know that segment was kind of long. I wish I could have played more. Y'all need to go look at that segment because that segment is rich with, you know, I agree with about 95, 96% of what they said. And y'all heard me say this before a few times. This is not all, because I hate when somebody lump me into a big group that I shouldn't be lumped into. But I do believe a majority of players today are not playing for the love of the game anymore. I don't think that they're playing because they love the game. I think that they're playing because they're tall and athletic and they can make money off of it in social media cred. That's just what I believe. I mean, you can see the product on the court. I also believe that Silva is destroying basketball with all of these new inventions he's coming up with to make money, when all we really want is balance. We want the team to be able to play defense. We don't want 130-point games. We don't want 60 3-pointers a game. I'm talking about, let me just say me, because I always try to liken myself to a real basketball fan, so I'm not going to do that. That's the Scotsman fallacy. Just me. What I want to see is defense. I want to see gritty basketball play. I want to see offense that doesn't only rely on 3-point shooting. That's what I want. You know, that's why I believe that the 90s and the early 2000s were the golden era. You know what I'm saying? Different types of offenses. Now, to me, the league is simple, is dumbed down, and everyone shooting threes is more positionless basketball. And then when you talk to some of these younger players, like y'all remember when Anthony Edwards said that Michael Jordan was the only player that had skill in his era? Michael Jordan's era was from 1984 to 2002. Are you kidding me? And also, you forget all of these insanely great players that Jordan played against. A lot of them are in the top 10 of the GOAT debate. Like, what are you talking about, bruh? That shows the level of ignorance. and some of the players today, not all. And it's being reflected on the court. Y'all remember when Dwayne Wade and Kevin Durant tried to blame fans for the crappy product that they're putting out in the court? Remember when Kevin Durant took a shot at MJ for retiring because of what happened to his father? It's just ignorance. It's just insane to me that players nowadays have so little reverence for the people that they admired when they were young. You know what I'm saying? The NBA is the league where these guys routinely just take a dump on the yesteryear players. It's insane. I never seen anything like this in sports, but there is I think Gilbert Arenas and his crew are right, that there is a factor of it that is young, but the point that Gilbert Arenas was about to make about blaming on coaching, because where's the mentorship now? The coaches aren't even, seem to be instilling these type of lessons in the players. Now it's just analytics, 3-point shot is the best shot, and people are coaching towards that end, which is insane to me. I like the way Eric Spoelstra coaches. I like, his offenses. And believe it or not, the Boston Celtics take a lot of threes, and their coach is pretty good. What is the young bull name that coach for them? I forget his name. He's pretty good, but when they get in trouble, it's just 3, 3, 3, 3. Just, it's insane. Basketball. I like Mike Malone, even though he got fired. I thought that he was a pretty good coach. I thought that he ran some pretty good sets with the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets still look pretty good to me because they got a really good leader in Jokic. Jokic has a high IQ for basketball, and the way he is kind of rubs off on the rest of his teammates. It's kind of like how Tim Duncan was. Tim Duncan had a high IQ, and the way he was kind of, rubbed off on the rest of his teammates in that Spurs dynasty. So yeah, I agree that some of it does have to do with being young, but some of it is just these guys, they're not playing basketball for the right reasons, and it's becoming ever more apparent now to us that a lot of these guys aren't playing basketball for the right reasons, and it's what it is, and we can see that non-love for the game is bleeding through the TV screen. It's bleeding onto the crowd, that we can see that you guys aren't really playing basketball. Not all, but a lot of these guys aren't really playing basketball because they love the game. You know what I'm saying? It's become a job to them. Yes, I know this is their job, but it's a difference between doing something that you love and doing something just to get the profit or the fame out of it. And I think a lot of that is the reason the product is suffering. Look, if it wasn't this case, there's no reason that Adam Silver would have to or would have the idea to put in an in-season tournament. But they never had to do that in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s just to get players to compete harder. You mean to tell me you got to pay these spoiled players more just to have them compete harder? That contract ain't doing that? Like, it's insane, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Do y'all think the NBA IQ now is low? If so, why is it low? What's the cause of it? And what's the fix? But ring culture, always remember, we are ring culture, because the whole point of the culture is to win ring for the culture. I love y'all. Peace.